These four carburetors are from a Honda Goldwing 1975 GL1000. And as you see, I've taken apart 3 of them. So I'm starting to get to know what the parts look like and where they go. And I think I'll make a video before I forget. I also left one fully assembled, which I can fall back on if I need to. Now here's the parts off of one of the carburetors, the number 1 carburetor. The carburetors are all the same. Basically, they use the same rebuild kit, and the internals are all the same. They're slightly different on the outside, and that's due to the linkages for the choke and for the throttle, so that they'll all work together. And the number on this carburetor is a 755A. And I cleaned off that side there, and there's some other symbols, but I can't make out what they are. Maybe somebody can tell me what they are. But they're all called a 755A, but they're slightly different. Like these two, you can see they'll go towards the back of the engine. And there's some linkages that go between them. This is the bottom, and this will go down to the cylinders. This is the intake. There's a air chamber that goes in between them. So this is number 3 and number 4. These two go in the front, number 1 and number 2. Okay, well, let's get started. And get the parts out here. These parts here go on the top. It's a float. This goes on the top too. All right, here's the screws. That's part of the flow valve. It's an idle valve or jet, I'm not sure. Some more screws. Bowl gasket. Here's some jets. A lot more pieces than the Honda 90s I'm used to working on. So this goes with that. This is part of the flow valve. I know I'm going kind of fast, but I'll slow down here when I start putting them back together again. Okay, let's start with the top. Here's the needle jet, the jet needle, and it goes in here, goes down this way, and it's held in with this screw here, a slot on one side. Drop that down in and screw it in. And you have a spring on here, and then this goes down here. It should bounce up. Here's the gasket that goes on here. And this goes on the top of the carburetor. Oh, before we do that, we need to put these parts on here, and let's take a look at the jets. These two emulsion tubes, and here's the main jet, here's auxiliary jet, and these four little guys here. One of them's a pilot jet, the one with the slot on the top, and the other three with a slot where the threads are. I guess it's also the top. These are air jets. All right, this little tiny one here, this is the pilot jet. And I guess we can put that in now. Okay, this is the pilot jet. Okay, has a slot for a screwdriver on the top, and there's the threads on the bottom. So it'll go in this way. It'll go in the middle of these three holes here on the top, and I'm sure the camera is not going to pick it up, but I'll try to insert a picture when I edit this video. On top of the slot, there's like the K for the Cayenne symbol, and below is the 35 for the side. Okay, here's that pilot jet. I think the camera's focusing okay. You can see above the slot, there's that K logo for the Cayenne, and below it, there's a 35. So that's the jet size. So you screw this in here, and then this little rubber thing, it goes in on top of it. Just push it down. Okay, now there's these two jets, and they're basically the same, except one's a little bigger than the other. And you see two grooves around them. One has an O-ring on it, and the other is what this clamp goes onto to hold it down, to hold it in. So the question is, which groove does O-ring go on? And the only difference you can tell is on the end here. You know, the diameter of this hole is the same on both sides, but then it gets smaller and goes down into the jet. So this one is kind of shallow. And this one's a little deeper before it gets smaller again, before the hole gets smaller. So the one that's shallow is the one that gets the O-ring. On both cases, on the main jet and the auxiliary jet. Okay, but before we put those in, we have these two emulsion tubes. This is the main emulsion tube, and the needle goes in here for the for this needle jet. And it goes in the larger hole. It goes down this way. And then you can push it down, and then the main jet goes in there with the O-ring in first. And you probably need to push it down, get a tool and push it down, because it has to come through the middle over here. So anyway, this wasn't going to be a how-to video. I was just going to show where the parts go. That goes in there. This one here, it goes in the smaller hole, and then this jet goes in. The same thing with the O-rings. This hole here is a little shallower than this one, so that would go in there. And then Let's see, we got a pilot jet in here, and we have this rubber thing on here. And then, let's see, they go like, yeah. They're going like this. No, they're going like this. See, I'm forgetting already. And then when you put the carburetor bowl on, these will hit the bottom, and this will hold the jets in. Okay, so much for them. Now we have the float valve, and we have this. This is the float valve. That's the float. This is the float valve. It has a little filter screen on it, and they may not come with a kit. There's an O-ring on here too. So what you want to do is carefully take it off, and you know, clean out the screen and use it on the new valve that you get with your kit. So that would go in here, and there's a little plate here that holds it in. The plate looks like this. It goes on this groove on the top. Okay, and there's one screw, the one that's different than all the others, well, the smaller one. And that goes in there and holds it all in. Okay, then you have the float. You have this float valve. It hangs on here, goes down in here, and this goes in here. Then you adjust the height of the floats. Okay, now this takes us to these 3 air valves. Air jets. Lots of jets. One of them goes here on the top. Actually, one goes here where the tube is, and they have a little number on them too, which again is going to be hard to read. And I'll try to post it. And here's one of the air jets. You see that K, whoops, K60. And here's a slot up here. I lost the focus. When I edit the video. But the one that's under the hose has a number, has a K110 on it. It'll screw in here. Screw it in all the way, and then you put the hose on. Okay, now there's 2 more air jets, and they're going to go down in here. There's a large hole, there's an air jet hole, a screw hole to hold these guys in, these like kidney shaped parts in. One's a gasket and one's a metal plate. All right, large hole air jet, screw hole, and the other air jet. And the air jet that goes between the screw hole and the wall is number K120. The other air jet that goes between the screw hole and the large hole is a K60, at least on my carburetor. I don't know if they all come the same way. Okay, so that'll take care of these other two air jets. One of these is a gasket and one is a plate, and they're held in by one of these screws. There's two large screws. There's 5. They're all the same. One will probably be cleaner than the other. That's the one that holds that kidney-shaped plate in. Okay, well, we're almost done. Now, this is the idle jet. Let's see. Okay, it goes here. I had to look for it. It screws in here. You screw it all the way down, then you back it off. I think the book says 2.5 or 3, and I checked. This one here was 1 3/4. I don't. All right, and then there's a little plastic thing which you may or may not have. It goes on top of it. I'm not sure if that's necessary. Okay, so let's see. This gasket here, this goes on top. This needle goes through the main jet. Oh yeah, there's a slot on here. Slot, and then there's a pin down in there. So you can look in there and see which way it goes. It'll go this way. And this goes on. And the 2 large screws are the ones for that. That's the top of the car. Now on the bottom here, I pretend we got the fluid and all the jets and everything in it. There's here's a screw for the drain hole. Has a O-ring on it. And this thing shaped like a hockey puck, it goes in here. Put the gasket on, the bottom on, and then these 4 screws. And there you go. A lot of work to get these clean. I can easily see a couple hours in each one of them. And they were really dirty. I've cleaned them some, but I still got a ways to go. This one here, for example, I'm going to take the bowl off and show you what it looks like inside. And I'll act surprised like I never had it off before. Oh, I'm a recent convert to these GIS screwdrivers. I've known about them for years, but they look the same as the Phillips. I couldn't see spending so much money on them, but they are really good. They really grip the GIS screws, and you won't be messing up the screw heads as often. Hardly ever, actually. And you can get some screws out that are slightly rounded off from a previous mechanic. Okay, let's see what it looks like inside. I bet it'll be nice and clean. What do you think? Oh, it's stuck on. Oh my God, look at that. It's like tar in there. Can you believe this other one was like that? Okay, well, I think I'll be able to remember where these parts go. Hopefully this video will help someone else too. Thank you for watching.